Space Shuttle, this is flight safety. Keep your hands on the handrail or inside the vehicle and remain seated while in motion. You are clear for launch. Have a great flight to Starport 75.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing good. Except, I don't know. Got a little conspiracy theory going in my house right now.
Okay. What's that?
I feel somebody's taken all the caffeine out of all of my coffee products. Either that or I'm just really tired. So, is that possible? Could somebody have snuck in? See, I can't even talk right. I feel like, where'd all the caffeine go? Like, I used to be able to drink a cup of this stuff and be awake for hours, but now it's not working. Maybe I need to go to like Tomorrowland and go get me some of that Joffrey's.
Oh, that's good. I had the Mission to S'mores last time I was there. It's really good. Yeah, it wasn't sweet at all. It was very.
That sounded like sarcasm.
It was, but it was yummy.
I can't remember the last time I had any kind of coffee, anything. Like they just don't mix in my mind. Coffee and theme parks.
Yeah, well,
because it's usually hot and usually it's. You know what happens is, and I'm not sure why, the moment I step in, I may have said this before, but the moment I step into a theme park, I want a Coke so bad. I don't even, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, I need a Coke right now.
I'm right with you.
I need that's $5
exactly.
Coke. Is that right? You have the same problem?
Yes. That's why I was so upset about the soda bottle prices going up.
That's why. That's
$4.50 for one of those now.
Yeah, I just rounded up to $5. Disney needs the money. I just you know what? Keep the 50 cents. You guys got things to pay for, things to pay off, like buying companies and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So, anyway, other than my caffeine challenges, maybe during the show it'll kick in, and then I'll just be like, I'll just take over the show.
Well, that's fine.
I'm sure you'd like that. Anyway, so what are we doing today? Do I have a trip report? Do I get to do?
I don't know.
What
do you have a trip report? Because that would be awesome.
Well, I don't know. I do, kind of, I guess.
You do?
Well, I went to Disney Springs. Did I tell you that? Does it count?
Did mention that. That absolutely counts.
It's not in the rundown. It's not like a...
That's fine.
But actually, I do need to talk about it.
Okay.
Because a couple of things.
Sure.
Right? Because you know how I feel about Disney Springs, right?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not sure you do. Because so we went... my wife and I, to celebrate our anniversary, we're like, we got a sitter. Let's go see a movie. And First Man, by the way, did you see that movie?
I haven't. How was it? Was it good? Did you like it?
Yeah. Do you want my little mini review? Do you want to?
Yeah, sure.
This is like Inception. It's like a show within a show within a show here. But,
it really is.
So, yeah, it was good. I'm a bit of a space nerd. I don't know if you know that.
What? Really?
Yeah,
You?
A little bit.
Okay.
I know, it's shocking. A little bit. So I mean, I've seen all the movies, all the spacey movies. I've read numerous accounts and things. So I got a pretty good foundation for stuff. So I liked it. I think it was a good story. I only had a couple of issues with it. That it was very it felt very down. And I think what they're going for is one of the reasons that Neil Armstrong ended up being the first guy to walk on the moon is because he's very much a steely-eyed test pilot engineer guy, unflappable, right, is the word you'd use. It's just straight down the middle all the time. But I think they try to convey that so much in the movie that it felt a little down at times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But my biggest complaint with it was that every time, because there's a couple of shots, because he had a few different space missions where he's suited up and he's on the gantry and he's going to the capsule, right? And they're all there waiting for him. And if you've seen other things like From the Earth to the Moon or what's that words escaping me right now. But if you watch any of these movies, when they're going to get suited up and get in the spacecraft, there's usually this kind of nervous excitement, and people are smiling.
Right.
But it was almost like I don't want to say horror movie. That sounds like a bit extreme. But everybody's serious. It's like going to the Haunted Mansion, right? It's normally you open a door. See, I know I could bring it back to Disney.
Yeah. Thanks.
So it's normally somebody goes and opens a door hi, welcome. But at the Haunted Mansion, they got to be all it's the Haunted Mansion. So welcome, right? Like that.
Right.
So it had that kind of vibe to it. Nobody was smiling. And it's you hear his voice or hear his breath in the spacesuit. And it was just sort of like this, oh my God. And it was, I don't know, it was just sort of this weird sort of negativity about the missions or something. But overall, it was good. I'd give it a good B.
Okay.
It's not a. It's a very. I was listening to another podcast where they happened to mention this, and one of the people said it was like one of those movies where the movie ends and you almost feel like you were in a dream, where like it's a very dreamlike sort of movie, like just visually and sort of the sounds and everything. And so it was good for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the point was, so we went to downtown Disney Springs, to the AMC theater because they had like the fork and screen, you can eat food while you see the movie, which I don't know if I'm sold on yet, but it's a neat way to do a movie. So I said, and then we had a few hours, so we like walk around, and I hate to admit it, Glenn, but man, it was pretty nice. I like it. It's my opinion of Disney Springs went up a couple of notches. Good. So for no particular reason, it's just it still feels I still kind of miss the quiet times, but it was a nice quiet place to go. But if you forget that, if I pretend that never existed, and like here's this new thing, like if this were a new thing, and that's what I realized I had to separate in my head. If this was like a brand new thing they built, then it'd be like, wow, this is really nice, and it's just and like I went to kind of a newer part of it, I guess, where I hadn't been before, where you go like by the Planet Hollywood, and you go through like, I don't know, is it supposed to be like a train station? I don't know what it's like, a covered kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's been there. And it was nice. It's nicely done, nicely themed. I still don't understand the Disney Springs part of it. It seems like a silly name, but
there's a whole story about that.
I know, it's a whole silly made up story. I know.
But there was for Pleasure Island too. So,
but why you get me wrenched up? But Pleasure Island at least made sense. Like Pleasure Island, like it's Disney Springs. There's nothing about the words Disney Springs that, not like Universal City Walk, where it's like gives you a sense of like, oh, this is a like Disney Springs. Like Disney Springs to me sounds sort of like out in the meadow somewhere, and there's springs near me. It's not like where all the shops are and the entertainment. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I think that's what they're going for, is because you're right, Universal City Walk, like, and so this is Disney Springs. If you want,
but it's not. But it's so
come and relax.
It's so not
but
that.
You're absolutely right, because it's not, because a gazillion people go there every day. And
right.
It's not the.
But they should just call it like Disney Wide Open Spaces. Like if you're just gonna like lie about it, then just go all the way down, all the way through.
Disney Greenland.
Disney, where is everybody?
Yeah, that's what.
So it doesn't work.
But no, they do. They have. It's grown on me. I still don't like it when it's super crowded. I like going early in the day when you can have a little space between you and the other people around there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of great restaurants there. A lot of shops, but I like the more unique shops that you can only find there. I like the Coke store. I like the various Disney stores that they have. I really don't care about going into the whatever Vera Bradley store. That I can go into.
Yeah, because then it just feels like an upscale,
an outlet mall, right?
Outlet mall, right? Yeah. Right at that point. Yep.
But I do enjoy a lot of the more unique aspects of Disney Springs, and the restaurants, the ones that they have, they're really good. At least the ones I've been to. So I like it. I think when it gets crowded, it's unbearable. But then again, Downtown Disney and Pleasure Island, that was the same way for me too. So,
but was it ever crowded though? That was the thing. It was never that crowded.
I don't know. I don't know. It seemed very crowded whenever I would go.
Okay.
But so I do have a question, and I have a feeling the answer is going to be no. But did you go to the World of Disney?
See, you always assume wrong. You so assume wrong. In fact, we went there. Okay. And a little bonus for you. I have a story of utter embarrassment that I will share with you and only with you on this podcast.
Okay, thank you.
So,
what is that?
Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. So, but I don't want to, because you still give me grief about stories that I told you probably a decade or a decade and a half ago. So this is just going to be another one of those things to keep in your tool belt. But
that's okay.
But I have to share it. So, so we went there. I was thoroughly impressed. Okay. Because they fixed all the stuff, all the problems that place had before, which was just how crowded it was. They really opened up the space, like really, really well.
Yeah.
So they kind of fixed that, because it seemed like they were clear, like there wasn't it wasn't like there were less people there. It was, you could tell it was the same number of people, but you weren't so jammed in there. So, kudos to them for doing, and I'm sure that was the whole point, was, to open it up. It's not quite done yet. It seems like there's still some sections they're updating. But not only that, but it seemed like they really upped the theming in there a little bit, which was probably a challenge because they took away walls and things. So then you have less things to hang theming on. But like there were neat little sort of lighting effects and things behind the counters and stuff. So I think I was impressed. I thought I didn't follow it that closely what they were doing, so I wasn't really expecting anything. But I guess I would have assumed it wasn't going to be that drastic of a makeover. I thought they were just kind of getting a refresh or something. But no, I think they did a great job. Yeah. But well,
I mean, it opened I think in 98. I think it's been 20
Sounds
years.
Right. Yeah.
And they really had. I mean, they did a few things to it over the years, but not much. It's pretty much was like it was when it opened, up until recently. But from everything I've seen on the vlogs that I watch, and everybody's gone to it and taking pictures and taking videos and everything else, to me it looks like a gazillion times better, because the one thing I did not like about the World of Disney in its previous incarnation was, to me, it always felt claustrophobic. Like I felt claustrophobic. Like I never knew where I was because there were all these rooms, and it was just, I got disoriented, and it was crowded, and I did not like going in there. I simply didn't. And so everything I've seen that, they took down the walls and opened it up, that I'm like, I think now I can go in and really enjoy it.
Yeah, because they kept it's neat to have those different areas, because you do kind of have like, here's like the Christmas stuff, and here's like the kids' clothes over here, so you get that kind of area. But you're right. So now instead of like rooms, they have spaces, right? It's just sort of like, this space is this stuff, right? And so I totally agree. That was always the challenge with that place. Was it just it did always feel so claustrophobic, and you just sort of like jostling with everybody there. It felt like it was built to have a capacity of a third of what it usually did. So. Right. I think they, with the keeping the same footprint to it without having to expand the store, I think they did a virtual expansion that seems to work out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Looked like the same junk in there. I mean, it didn't seem like anything. But I love that. I love that place, and what we used to like on our trips, and I guess most people, that's why that's I think it gets used for this a lot. We'd always, like, towards the end of our stay, plan to, like, okay, on the last day we'll go there and just like pick up souvenirs of ourselves or friends and family that we forgot to get, during the trip or whatever. So it's great. It's great for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I cut you off. You were about to say something.
I may have been, but I forgot. So I'm good.
Okay. So you ready for my story of embarrassment? And this is, I'm at least like 30 years old. Like, I've been on the planet for a little while, right? Okay. At least 30.
Sure.
And this kind of thing has never happened to me. So, I may have mentioned to you before, like when I'm at Disney, I like Coke. I like a Coke, right? And I was thirsty. I'm like, you know what, honey? Hey, look, here's a, it was like near a register. So if you like where the kind of line of registers are. Mm-hmm. So if you imagine there's like a wall, like that would have been part of the thing that makes the backdrop behind them, like, but you're not quite there, right? Yeah. So it's basically right next to the registers. There's a big Coke cooler thing.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? The regular Coke was way up on the top shelf, right? Okay. And it's not that high. It's not like it's 100 feet in the air, but you know what I'm saying? So sure. And I'm not the tallest guy. One of the more better looking ones, but I'm not the tallest guy. So I reached up and get my Coke, and so I've got like my knuckles kind of on the cap, right? Because I got that little little ledge there you pull on.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling that, and I don't know why, just because I'm an idiot, or there was some reason for it. No, I think it was probably because I figured the ones more towards the back are probably colder.
Sure.
So I didn't take. Are you mocking me? Or are you?
No, that they always are. So
you would think, right? Because anyway, because when they put them in, they're going to put the new ones in the front, right?
Right.
And it's closer to the outside when the door gets open. So anyway, so I reached back. I think it wasn't even that far back. Maybe the second or the third one back. I went to get it. So now imagine you're reaching like above your head, and you're like, getting this Coke, right?
Yeah.
So, and I play it over my mind. I still don't know how this happened, but I'm pulling the Coke out, and something happened, and it slips out of my hands.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, and as it's falling, I'm like, oh, great. Now I'm not going to want this one now because I'll be shaken up, right?
Right.
I feel bad for the
Somebody
poor schmuck that's
get
going
that one. Right.
I feel bad for the poor schmuck that's going to get that. I'm going to put that up front so somebody else gets that one. Yeah, except there was one problem with that. And the way the physics conspired against me on that particular day, if this were a movie, it'd been like, okay, slow motion, and the bottle is tumbling end over end, and it landed right on the cap.
Oh, God.
And I guess it hit a weak point in the cap or something, and I've never seen this happen. The cap, like, shattered, like, popped off. Really? And like Coke went, and part of the new store is, at least it's not carpet. Part of the new store is there's a lot of tile, so it landed on tile. Coke spewed like a dozen feet in every direction. It seemed it's like somebody just dropped a corn syrupy fizzy bomb in the middle of this place. God. This has never happened to me. Is like clean up on aisle 3 or whatever. Like, man, I've never dropped anything. I've never, like, this has never ever happened to me. But what was funny to me was like the woman that was working the register the closest to me. Yeah. She like turned, and I don't know what she said, but it was almost like this happens a dozen times a day because she barely made eye contact. It was almost like, got another one down on Coke down on the thing, like she's just yelling out to the staffers. And like, the worst part of it was like, it was a heavily trafficked area, and like a couple of people like didn't notice that all that, the spillage was there. And I didn't want people to like, it's bad enough I made the scene. I don't want somebody like, have to have in the hospital for my soda addiction. So I'm like, I got my arms out to my side. I'm like, wait, don't go this way. I'm like, I'm trying to help them. But they're not acknowledging. The weirdest part for me was they weren't acknowledging me in any way. They weren't like saying, "Oh, don't worry about it, we got this." Yeah. They just kind of all the robots kind of went into action.
Right, like Wall-E.
like exactly.
Like Mo came out.
That's exactly what it was like. Like they were all talking to each other, and they're like, go tell Mary that we need to get everybody who's not on register, blah blah blah. And I'm like, and like, hey, what about me? Does anybody want to make me feel better about this? So we're standing there, and you can imagine, like, so we're standing there. There's like probably 6 or 8 cast members now that are blocking it off, or they're waiting for the guy with the mop or the whatever. And I just look at him and I'm like, can I help with anything? Can I? And they're just like, no, we got this. And I'm like, what do I do now? Like, do I have to pay for this? Do I go get another one and like take this to the? What would you have done? Like, okay, let me pause it there. Pause. What would you have done at that moment?
I would have forgotten about the goddamn Coke and walked far, far away. And found another one somewhere else.
That's exactly what I did.
There's no question.
I just sort of turned, and I'm like, I'm kind of laughing now with my nervous laughter. Like because it's my nature. Like I would want to help fix the problem. Like if we were anywhere else, I'd be like grabbing paper towels. I'm like, oh, I'll help you do this. Like, whatever. But there's nothing I can do. So we just sort of melted into the crowd, and like, like, oh, look, here's the closest exit. Let's go out that way.
Exactly. So, like Homer Simpson blending into the hedges.
That's exactly
Honey, come here. We gotta leave.
I think that was exactly the conversation Melissa and I had. I'm like, I think we're gonna go. She said to me, "You don't want the Coke anymore?" I'm like,
not from there.
I really. I'm sure there's one somewhere else.
Yes, there's plenty other Coke vendors.
Oh my God, I was simultaneously embarrassed, and it was the funniest thing just because I don't know, because it happened to me. I guess I don't know. It was just because it's like there's no finite way to end that endeavor. There, it's like I'm just gonna float away now. You all deal with that. Sorry, so thanks to me, Disney's profitability went down a smidge that day because I didn't buy the Coke that I ruined. But I felt, on the positive side, I felt I got to christen the new store a little bit.
That's true. So, that is true.
So, like me with the champagne bottle on the side of a ship.
Man.
Anyway.
Can't take you anywhere.
No, you can't. And that's, And then my wife, she's so nice. Like, she wouldn't make fun of me about, like, she was just, like, acted like almost like it didn't happen. And I'm like, I feel like you should be mocking me or something right now. Like, I can only imagine what would happen if you were there.
Oh my God. Well, okay. The initial reaction would be
I know.
I don't know who this dude is. Like, you need to arrest this guy. He's messing up your whole store. It's brand new.
Sir, what are you doing?
Right. Who are you?
Yeah.
And I'll meet up with you later.
It was like a brand new section of the store is all. I don't know, the way they swung into action, like they all knew their parts. That can't be the only time that happened. But I've never had that happen. I've had like bottles of soda fall before. You're just like, well, everybody just don't open
They
that
bounce.
one. Yeah, nope,
Bubbles
not that
bounce.
One. Nope. In fact, as we were kind of floating away, it was like 20 feet away from where this happened. And Melissa's like, "Oh, there's the cap." I'm like, don't worry about it.
That's the best. That's icing on the cake right there.
I should have kept it.
There's the
cap. Or it was like, oh, that's where the cap went. Like it shot out of there like crazy. Anyway, so sorry to take all that time, but that was my entertaining part of Disney Springs.
There's probably only one angle, like there's only because I've never seen or heard of that happen before, and so it had to hit like a 1 in a million shot.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because it wasn't even like it fell on the bottle part and like it ruptured or something. It was like the cap. Like I wish I'd saved it so I could like do like a CSI analysis afterwards or something. But it popped the cap off. Like it didn't break. It was just bizarre, very bizarre. But
like MythBusters or something. Do experiments.
I went somewhere else. I think I found a Coke somewhere else outside.
Yeah, good. Wise choice.
Like, can you open that for me?
Right.
I can't be trusted.
I want that one. I'm pointing. You give it.
Do you have something in a sippy cup?
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, there you go. It's my gift to you. You can forward that over.
Look at that.
So anyway, so we went to Disney Springs and we enjoyed it. It was nice. Even went to Chicken Guy. I didn't eat there, but I went to Chicken Guy. You got to do it.
Did you eat anywhere there?
I ate at the movie theater.
Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Because okay. So when don't do that. I hate that sound. Don't do that. Don't do that. So as we're planning, we really have to think hard about how we spend our time when it's just the two of us, right? So we're talking about what we do, and we could have gone to a different movie theater somewhere else in Orlando, and then gone to dinner somewhere.
Yeah.
But I wanted. It was a beautiful day, and so I didn't want to like go spend 2 hours in a movie theater, and then go sit down in a restaurant somewhere. We want to go walk around and stuff. So that's why we decided, well, we'll just we eat a little meal or whatever at the Fork and Screen, and then just so that we have more time to just kind of go walk around and ruin new Disney stores with Coke all over.
Many of those restaurants have outdoor seating, right?
Yeah, no, I know that, but it was more about just not wanting to. We didn't want to like just sit. We even talked about it. I can show you the text. We just like, do you want to go like? Because then we'd sit down and like, no, let's just go walk around. So we have time to just kind of meander like we used to back before we had kids. But we did say we're going to go back. I want to go to that barbecue place. That place seems so good. The Polite Pig or whatever, Proud Pig, whatever they call that thing.
All right. I mean, go and you can give your review.
Well, you say that like it's a challenge. Like, no, you go ahead. You try that.
No. It's.
I
want to hear what you. No, I want to hear your opinion.
Oh, okay. I will.
Because I've seen reviews, read reviews, and everything else, and so I want to hear what you have to say.
And see, the beauty, just like with politics and many other important things, is I'm completely ignorant, so I won't be sullied by
that's right,
by any of that stuff. So yeah, I want to try that. I didn't try Chicken Guy, but it did. I sent you a picture of me with.
I would try Chicken Guy.
I would try that. I just but it was seemed weird to me. There was a line to get in.
Oh, I believe that. Because it's one of the only fairly inexpensive options for food there.
Yeah, I guess. And it wasn't a line like there's so many people. It was more of like there's a line because it's just not that big of a place. So
right.
And it was
but
weird
the name
but the line to get inside was outside. Like
there's not much. It's from what I've seen.
Yeah.
On video, it's a very, very small place. Like you just really go in to order and then you get out.
It looked good, but honestly, Glenn, it looked like fried chicken. Like
that's all it is. Sure.
Okay. But I don't want to try the barbecue.
Who doesn't like fried chicken though? I like fried chicken.
Yeah, but I mean, be honest with you, from what I saw and kind of like smelling the air as we walk through.
Yeah,
I'd rather go to Popeyes. Like Popeyes.
Like, oh well, you can't beat Popeyes. I mean, that's hands down. That's come on.
Well, then why would I go pay for $15 chicken lunch at Chicken Guy?
All right, where's the nearest Popeyes near you? When was the last time you had Popeyes in Orlando?
Probably with you back when you lived here.
Thank you. Exactly. So you got Chicken Guy.
Chicken Guy. With donkey sauce.
Chicken Guy. So, so you'll be closer to, you're more likely to be around Chicken Guy than you are Popeyes.
Yeah. Well, we'll try a place next. I'll send you the bill, but because I do want to try some of those. I do want to try some of those places out there.
Yeah, you should.
Oh, I will.
That would be a cool addition to the podcast.
I will. I'll make another scene out of something. Anyway, all right. That wasn't even in the rundown, Glenn.
Well, it was.
It was? Is that?
Partially.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's true. Look at that. Like you wove it. You wove it in so well. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, all right.
That's pretty good. We didn't go to any of the parks though. We talked about maybe going to like Magic Kingdom or something. But
yeah,
we didn't go to any of those.
Hey, have you been to the Food and Wine Festival?
We did. Didn't we talk about that?
Yeah, but you went like the first weekend or something, right? You haven't.
Yeah,
been
I haven't.
back?
We didn't go back.
Okay.
No. I don't know. I'm not sure why. I don't know. It's really kind of wearing thin with me. I hate to say because we love Food and Wine for so many years, but it's just it's so.
No, I said sure. I mean, because
Yeah.
it used to be incredible.
Yeah, it's gotten so crowded and so. It's more about the wine than the food with a lot of the roving bands of drunkards. It's just I don't know. It's created a different feel there. I'm actually looking forward to the arts one. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But why do you ask?
No, you just mentioned parks. I just
okay.
I don't remember you saying that you've been back to Epcot, and it used to be, pretty big deal to go out there.
Yeah, I don't. Gosh, it's ending soon, isn't it? Wait, where are we?
I
at?
think
November
this is
7th?
the last
Oh,
weekend.
this is the last weekend.
Actually.
No, I think that'll be the only trip then.
Okay.
And partly just with the kids, it's like it's not it's easier when it's just the two of us. So like last time we got a sitter and all that, so we're just not going to go to that expense again. It's just not enough payoff.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well, I do have something for you. A little bit of follow up a few months later. Yeah. So today I saw that the Maleficent float in the Festival of Fantasy Parade is coming back.
Well, fantastic.
I know.
Do we know when?
It is there and is in rehearsals.
Oh,
so
okay.
it should be days.
Now here's the big question though.
What's that? I don't know.
Is it going to breathe fire?
That's why you need to go and tell us.
Oh, but I don't know when. It'll get scooped out there. Yeah, but if I did know when, you know what? I'd probably even take a day off of work to go do that, just because I was there when it ended, and I didn't want to be there when it's starting back up again. Just to bookend it.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun.
So that's pretty cool that it's coming back, though.
Yeah, no, well, but I think that's what we said, right? I think we said the safe money was probably that the float would be back.
Well, yeah. So will it breathe?
Will it breathe? Yeah, will it breathe fire? We had a name for this, right? Didn't we have a name for this segment?
Yeah, Malefifier.
Malefifier. Right, that is very good. I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah, so,
Malefifier.
So follow up on Malefifier.
So will it be? And when was that? It was back in
May 11th.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's half a year.
So yeah, 6 months or so.
Holy moly. Didn't seem like it's been that long.
I know.
Well, good. Well, I guess it takes a while to raise a dragon. I mean,
it does.
It's not, right. You can't just go to PetSmart and
No, they had to go to Universal and go Buck Hagrid for a new one. So
you know what? I understand those references.
I knew. That's why I kept going with it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're gonna have to start expanding this to the show to talk more about Universal because I think there's some annual passes in our future for that.
That would be awesome. I would love to talk about that too.
Then we have two corporate entities to complain about.
Yeah, that absolutely.
All right. Well, good for Maleficent.
Yeah,
I've never been so happy for an evil villain before.
Yeah. This episode is sponsored by Parkleap. Do you hate waiting in lines for your favorite rides at Disney World, Universal, and Disneyland? Of course you do. Everyone does. Parkleap tracks current wait times for attractions in real time, analyzes them, and gives you immediate guidance on what to ride now and what to skip for a shorter wait later on. Parkleap saves you time so you can do more, see more, and ride more. Many theme parks provide their own apps, which is great, but they only report the times. You only get information, you don't get guidance. Is that 40-minute wait good or bad? Parkleap can tell you. Parkleap also includes an interface that is clean, quick, and easy to use. Many vacationers travel to multiple theme parks. Now one app does it all. Whether you're a local resident, an annual pass holder, or travel great lengths once a year or every few years, you want to make the most of your time and money. This is the app to get to help you do that. Get Parkleap in the Apple App Store. And thank you to Parkleap for sponsoring Starport 75.
Good.
All right. So this I just I ran across. Disney bought Lucasfilm 6 years ago on October 30th.
6 years ago?
Yeah.
No, you lie.
And so the news is this article is about. So they bought Lucasfilm for $4.05 billion.
Well, they'll never see that. They'll never see that money again.
And so within 6 years, the films that they have released have grossed more than $4.8 billion at the box office.
Just the films. So
just the films.
Not even like the collateral money they've made from
Exactly.
licensing and other stuff. Yeah.
Correct.
Wow.
So I just thought that was interesting. In six years, they've now I don't think that same thing is going to happen with the Fox purchase, since that's for $72 billion.
Yeah, probably not.
So I don't know. I still don't understand the logic behind that purchase. But anyway, whatever.
But this is why I decided not to buy Lucasfilm, because I'm just like, I don't know if I can wait 6 years to recoup my money. I mean, I got mortgage payments to make and stuff.
True.
So
Well, that's true.
I don't know. 6 years is. Do you think that's? I think that's
that's
short
pretty
period of
quick.
time, or do you
Yeah,
think
I think
that's
so.
like that sounds 6 years? But I mean, that just means everything from here on for the next decades are free, or it's all bonus money, right?
Yeah, they haven't even opened the Star Wars lands yet. They have there's a lot coming still. 2 trilogies that are in development.
Yeah, it's a little much. I feel.
Well, I think that's why they've slowed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think we hit peak Star Wars there for a while.
Think
Do you
so.
think you think George Lucas is like, what? Like, how come I wasn't making that much money? Like,
Well,
do you think he's like,
If he wouldn't put out garbage, then maybe he could have.
none enough midichlorians? That's the problem.
Oh my. Okay. All right. You know what?
Can,
All right.
is there
So
any
I
way
just-
they could? Is there any way they can never get rid of that? Is there any way they can undo that damage with midichlorians?
Not really, but they've done a pretty good job of just ignoring the
it,
first
right,
3. I mean, quite honestly, they have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
All right, well, good for Disney. Now, does this mean you can stop complaining about them? Someone you feel good about them for the money they're making, or is this just going to make you crankier about the prices
no,
they charge?
I think that's great. No. This is more about the Star Wars aspect. No.
Okay, true. 6 years. So yeah, it's a little under $1 billion a year in.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but that's not. Well, that's a little deceiving. Those numbers, right? So they've made that in box office revenue, but that's not the It's not like they've paid.
That's not the
off
profit.
that.
No.
Yeah, so it's not like they've. But I'm sure they have with all their other ancillary income.
Well, that's all right. Exactly.
So chances are good. They're like, hey, man, it's all free money from here out.
Yeah.
Thanks, George.
Pretty much.
Okay, good for them.
Yes.
You like to see
the underdog.
small companies succeed.
Right.
All right. Well, good for them.
All right. And then one of the last things I had was the new entrance for the Cars for Disney's Hollywood Studios is opening. Actually, we're recording this. It's November 7th. So as of tomorrow morning, the new entrance is going to be open for Hollywood Studios. So what that means is there were 2 ways to get into the parking lot for Hollywood Studios. One from World Drive, which was the main entrance where they had the film strip and the Disney's Hollywood Studios. You could see it on World Drive. That was the main entrance, and then the other was off of, what is that, Buena Vista Drive?
Yeah, I always forget the name of it, but
yeah.
I had to look it up the other day. Yeah.
And so that was a smaller entrance. That was originally like the bus entrance or whatever. But
It's funny you say that, because to me that is the main entrance, because
that's the one I always have gone
right.
in. Yeah,
right.
sure.
Just from where I drive in and stuff.
Right. But anyway, both of those are going to be closed as of now. And
So there's no way to get in? Nobody can go to the studios?
So now you have to go down Victory Way.
What?
Or Osceola Parkway.
Got to get the maps. Hold
Yeah.
on. All right.
So it's on the same street as the Art of Animation, and I think Caribbean Beach is right by there too. But it's a main highway. You turn down there like you're going to the Wide World of Sports. You can actually see it from Victory Way. That's why it's called Victory Way. And anyway, so you'll funnel in there. They have a new toll plaza there, and then it filters you into the existing parking lot.
Glenn, Google doesn't even know about a Victory Way. What are you talking about? So, I don't see where this is. So just if we kind of imagine a square, and the top of that square is the entrance that I always used, right, to go in the off of Buena Vista Drive. And the left side of that square was the first one you talked about with the film strip and all that. Where is this entrance now? How do I get in?
So this is here. I'm going to.
This is an audio show. Yeah, you gotta theater of the mind kind of thing for me. So.
I know. So okay, so we are on. Okay, so Buena Vista Drive. So yes, okay. So the square is right. World Drive is to the west of Hollywood Studios.
It's the left square.
Right.
The side of the square. Yep.
Right.
Buena Vista Drive is the top side of the square.
North. And then Victory Way is the eastern boundary.
Yeah, I don't see that.
And Osceola Parkway is the. What do you mean you don't see it?
Osceola Parkway. I don't see this Victory Way thing. Oh, way over there. Oh, yeah. I was zoomed to way over there.
Yes.
Oh, and then like straight down the parking lot thing. Wow, that's like a drastic change.
Yeah, it is. So it's the entrance is actually down by the southeast corner by Art of Animation.
Oh, I see. Well, that makes that less convenient for me, Glenn.
Well, yeah, you can. Yeah.
Which is, how I judge everything.
I know. Well, you can go Western Way to. Well, wait. How do you come in now?
I go Western Way to Buena Vista Drive to that entrance, the second one you mentioned.
Yeah, but okay, so all you do is drive a little bit further and take a right on Victory Way instead of taking a right on.
I got to pass the park to go back. Yeah, I don't like that.
You do.
All right. And this is all just because of the massive traffic we expect will descend upon the place? Is that what it's all about?
That's the main reason.
Well, hey, you don't have it in the rundown, but can we talk about gondolas? Come on, can we talk about gondolas?
Yes, we can talk about gondolas.
All right, because when I was going to Disney Springs, because when we were going to Disney Springs, I maybe even sent you a picture, but you didn't take the bait and even comment on it. But there.
I did see the picture. I did not take the bait.
I know you didn't. But it's and it's so hard to do in a picture. But like so they have a number of the for the gondolas that are going to go from Epcot over to there or whatever. Mm-hmm. Caribbean Beach, is that where it's going? Is that what we talked about?
Yes.
Yeah. They have the kind of like the pylons that are along the way, and like I saw one where it turns and it's like they don't have anything strung up yet, or at least they didn't a couple weeks ago when we did this. But they have the things there and like the turns, where it's going to turn, and it's just, it was so weird. Two things struck me about it. One, just how massive they are. Like this is not and I know we know it because we talked about it, but this is not a small investment for Disney to put these in. This isn't like you just add a thing. Like these are some serious, like the loading areas and these turn area. Like this is a massive engineering effort they're putting in for these things. So sure, they must have spreadsheets somewhere that prove that this solves a lot of problems somehow. So I'm like we talked about before, I'm not sure how or why, but I believe it. So it kind of struck me the massiveness of these things, and it also it struck me, I don't know why, because we talked about it, like to see where it was exactly going to cross over the road, and like imagining these gondolas just kind of going over Buena Vista Drive. A little bizarre, little strange. Like I don't know, it's gonna be weird. I'm kind of giddy with excitement, looking forward to it, but they do look a little strange.
I cannot wait to hear the review on them. I'm counting down the days.
I will share it with you in excruciating, boring detail. But
that is awesome.
It is something to see just how, like I said, this is not a small investment they're making in putting this in. So
it's not. I agree. But
I guess what we were looking at would have been the line to Epcot, right? Because that's the one that would have crossed over and then gone over to International Gateway, right? Yes. Is that what they still call it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I don't know. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Some impressive engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way better than the monorail line. Way better.
Well, I guess that did kind of strike me as like, well, would it have been much more work to just add a monorail? Like you do it because I don't know. You kind of think, I guess, because they're gondolas, they're sort of prefabbed and they're running on cables. So you figure, well, like per mile to run those is you're stringing up cables. But when you see the amount of engineering and construction to put in the base stations and the loading areas and everything, it's not a small endeavor. So
Not at all.
I wish we knew more about why this is what they chose. So I hope something comes out when they get to launch where they can have some Imagineers talk about why.
Yeah.
Because clearly, I don't think they would have gone with this just simply because, hey, let's have a different thing. So there's got to be something about this particular mode of transportation, of moving people around that they thought was important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stay tuned. More of that.
Okay.
Do we have a date when those are going to be operational?
No. The belief is still that it's going to be next summer, but who knows?
Okay. Yeah. Well, when the base is fully operational, I'll take it for a spin.
Cool.
All right.
I mean, the stations like at Epcot and Hollywood Studios are pretty far along.
They seem to be.
So I don't think it'll be that much longer. I think by probably mid to late summer. Just guessing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Anything I say would be like, I don't know how they build these things, so who knows how long it takes, but it's pretty impressive. So
Yeah.
But I'll go out on a limb. You know what? I'll go out on a limb. I will say that when you actually see them, I think like me with Disney Springs, I think you will turn around a little bit on it because I think it will be more impressive to you than you realize.
I hope so. I do hope so. I hope I do like it. I hope it brings a good visual element to Disney World where, maybe from Epcot or wherever, you see them, it's motion, it's movement.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's sort of like when you're going down towards the toll booth at Magic Kingdom and you see that Epcot monorail coming and you just get that sense of, and so that's what, seeing these things as they cross over Buena Vista Drive or whatever, I think that's exactly the vibe it's going to kind of give, is like things are happening and people are, active and going places and sweltering in the unair conditioned things as they sway in the storms in the summer.
You said it, I didn't.
I know you were thinking it.
Yes.
All right, enough of that.
All right.
Before you get cranky about it.
So what's this thing with lift billboards?
Yeah, so sticking with the transportation theme, and I don't know, maybe it's a silly dumb thing, but it just kind of struck me. So Lyft, Lyft,
Yes.
you know what they are. So
I've
they're
heard of that, yes.
Yeah, so they're like the nice Uber, right? The Uber that people don't have a problem with but never use. Which I like. I know so many people are like, oh, I hate Uber, and they're all their shenanigans. People are upset about it. I'm like, oh, so you use Lyft? And everybody's like, no. Which I don't understand why, because it seems like all the drivers drive for both.
Yeah,
But anyway, aside from all that, so what I noticed the other day, and maybe this is something that would only strike me, but I saw a billboard the other day for Lyft. That the purpose of the billboard, I don't remember what the exact wording was, but it was basically take Lyft to the theme parks, take the parking out of theme park. That was their shtick. Take the parking out of theme parks. So instead of going there and parking, taking a Lyft to go there, and so it just kind of struck me. I'm like, I've never seen anything like that kind of advertisement before, like specifically about don't bother parking. There's another way to do this. But it reminded me of all the conversations we've had about the cost of parking at the theme parks, and if parking were cheaper at the theme parks, that sort of pitch wouldn't work because, well, I'm not. If it only costs me $5 to park there, I'm not going to go pay $25 to Lyft. But if I got to pay $25 anyway, maybe I would do that. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. So yeah, that's what kind of struck me. That's what they're pitching is like, and it was done in sort of. I was going to say residential. I guess it is still kind of touristy where I saw it, but it was kind of over by Sand Lake Road, I Drive kind of area. So I guess it is kind of touristy.
Kind of touristy.
Well, no, because where I work is right before the tourist stuff really starts, so I don't think of it that way. But anyway, so I thought that was an interesting ad. What do you think about that?
There is a Popeyes like right there.
Yeah, I know it's not far. I don't leave my office. I'm too busy. I work, and that's all I do. So the moment I get there to the moment I leave. So,
all right. So anyway, because Lyft they're the ones that are running the minivan.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why I thought.
Oh, fascinating. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So then I did start not remembering that connection, and then I started wondering, like, is Disney raising prices on parking to dissuade people from parking? Like, is that at all part of? Like, is there some reason they would like, well, we don't want all these cars here. Not just we want to make more money off them, but we actually would like fewer cars.
I think it's A. I think they want to make more money. But so, okay, to that point, all of the parking lots are built.
Yeah. Right.
Like what does it cost them? It doesn't cost them anything. Except, okay, you had to hire employees to wave people into the parking spots. But, I mean, other than that, there's really not much of an expense.
Yeah, I guess not. It's a lot of real estate, and I'm sure, the bill to repave those things is not small. But, yeah, that's long-term, relatively small stuff, I guess. But, I don't know. I just thought it was, I'm sure it's nothing but just a marketing thing that somebody at Lyft said, hey, you know what? Hey, I got a neat idea for a slogan, and let's see if people take that. Yeah. Because I don't think the economies kind of work, because I'm sure for me to go, it would probably cost, $20-$25 there and that back. So it would never work out. But
and you get free parking too. So.
I know, but I'm saying if I didn't, with that, I'm trying to think who would actually do that, like who that billboard was talking to. Like if I had
if it's in that area where you saw it, those are people who are staying on iDrive, right? So that's actually a perfect place, because those are people that may have rented a car,
right,
to get around. Well, and so instead of renting a car, and if you rent a car, then guess what? You have that expense, but then you have the expense to park as well every day. So if you don't rent a car, if you just Uber or Lyft to, from the airport to your hotel, and then to the hotel to the theme park, it may work out about the same, but then you don't have to worry about having a car,
But you already have your car, you said. Right? Isn't that what you said? Did I follow along?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, maybe for next time you come, like, instead of renting a car.
Hey, let's just fly and take a lift to the hotel, and then we'll just lift it over to the theme park as well.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Europeans that stay on International Drive, British people and all. And maybe they don't want to, because they drive on the wrong side of the road. Maybe they don't want to drive in the United States because they're not used to it or whatever. So
fair enough.
So I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, and it just kind of struck me and reminded me of our conversation about parking rates. And the main point was that if parking rates weren't so ridiculously high, that wouldn't even be a thought. But clearly we're at that point.
Yep.
Cool. That was it.
All right. Cool. So you have a pick of the week?
I do. Are we still doing that?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one as well?
I do. I'll do mine first, because I think you actually have probably a legitimate one. I just wanted to say that this is the first year that my kids took, that both schools offered a digital only school portrait. So I could buy just the digital file. I didn't have to buy a print package.
Interesting.
Because I usually just end up scanning that photo in, but then it doesn't look good. Scan it, right? So it's like $40 for the image, but that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. So my point in this is that I just got the photos printed, 8x10s, and I usually go, and it's rare that I have photos printed, but when I do, I go through Adorama Pics. Mm-hmm. I think their quality is excellent. And
they are.
So, and their prices are really good. It was, I bought a ton of prints and it was like $11 or something, it wasn't much at all. So anyway, I just wanted to throw a shout out there for Adorama Pics. The quality is excellent, and the shipping was, I got them today and I ordered them, I think, over the weekend or something. So.
Well, I always feel like I glom onto your pics a little bit, but I'll say I've also used Adorama Pics, but not so much for prints, like not like 4x6s or 5x7. We're trying to get more art in the house. Mm-hmm. So recently, I've actually experimented with. They've got kind of some unique printing materials, I guess you'd say. So I got two different kinds. One is a metal print. Okay. So it actually, it feels like a piece of, I don't know what it is, I guess aluminum, whatever. And they actually print on the surface of that. Mm-hmm. Another one is I guess on wood. I actually saw these at a Starbucks. I'm like, oh, those look nice. And I realized that it looked like they came from Adorama. So it's because what I hate is, and you and I have talked about this before, I hate framing, because number one, it's like more decisions I have to make. And then number two, it's like really expensive. So I've been looking at options that are sort of frameless, but yeah, you can still put them up on the wall. So they have things like that too. And I'm just saying, everything I've gotten there has been pretty high quality. So
I've gotten a couple books printed from there, photo books.
I've never done books, but I need to solve that problem because I used to use Apple, and every year I try to do it, but Apple has gotten out of that business. So.
Yeah. I got my wife a book for Christmas a few years ago, and then my brother had a small wedding, and I took his photos, and as a gift I gave them a wedding album, and I actually had it done because I was so impressed with the book that they did for me. I actually had the wedding album done there as well.
Nice.
And you can get like the faux leather cover and embossed on the cover. I mean, it's completely professional. They do great.
Well, a lot of pros
job.
do use them for their final product, but they have inexpensive printing options too, like just stacks of. I think at one time I got like a bunch of 4x6s or something, some stuff.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's a good pick. They have a lot of deals occasionally too. So if you sign up for like email stuff, they can get you some percentages off.
Yeah, that's usually when I order the books is when I get those emails that books are 40% off.
Hey,
like, all right,
marketing works.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool.
So what's yours?
So we must be in some sort of weird synchronistic sort of vibe happening right now because mine is also, and we haven't talked about this. Mine is also about photos.
Okay.
And it's also about digital photos.
Nice.
So, because one thing we're trying to do and maybe you guys have gone through this. We're trying, I have literally, because you may know this. I take a lot of pictures. I take a few. Some of them turn out pretty nice. I have literally thousands of pictures of, like our family and stuff, and they're all in sort of, in digital albums and things, but they're not around like in the olden days. Remember the olden days? You'd print things, you'd get a frame from the CVS, and you'd put it in there, and you'd put it up on a table or something, right? Mm-hmm. So your world would be you'd start filling your world with pictures, and it's like we don't have enough of that in our house, and so I had a couple of big projects of things I want to do that are big and fancy, but I'm like, you know what, I need something. I don't know why. I said, what's up with the digital photo frame world these days? Yeah. What's happening over there? And I hadn't looked at them in a long time. And I ended up getting one that I am super, super happy with. It's called. It's from a company called Nixplay. Do you know this space at all? Do you know these people?
I don't really know the space, but I think one of my digital frames is by them.
Oh, I didn't know you had any. So okay,
yeah, I have a couple.
So the last time I looked at these, they were always like cheap because the problem with what they were before is that the screens themselves just weren't that great. Like the quality of it, you could tell it was like an LCD. Yeah. And I'm trying to get something that doesn't look like a screen, right? It doesn't. Anyway, so this company Nixplay, they make like a wide variety of them. In fact, the most complicated thing about this whole thing was like trying to understand their product lines because they're a little bit Byzantine to try and figure out what's different about this one versus that one. So what I ended up getting, I really want to get one. I wanted to get one of theirs that it looks a bit more like a picture frame, but it was a little overpriced for what I wanted. So the one I ended up getting is called Nixplay Edge. Okay. And I got for a couple of reasons. So one, I got the 8-inch version of it because that was a decent size. I put something like it's like a table behind a couch. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want something too big that would kind of like overpower that space. I wanted to just look like, oh, hey, there's a photo frame there. So I got this. And the other thing I didn't want to bother with, I didn't want to have to get like an SD card and attach it, and I didn't want to physically have to move these files around. So this Nixplay Edge is, it's Wi-Fi enabled, whatever. So I just have this thing sitting there, and they have a mobile app or through their web portal. I can just kind of load pictures up to this thing, from wherever, whenever. And it looks really nice. I was a bit worried because, coming from somebody who uses iPads a lot, the resolution on iPads is like off the charts. And these are they're like 1024 by whatever, which I'm like, that sounds kind of low. Are these going to look nice? But it really does look nice. And they even have controls in there to adjust the color quality of or color balance, I should say, of the panel. So, because they can tend to look a little bit blue, just kind of cheap tablets will kind of look that way. But this gives you ways that you can adjust it to make it look a little nicer. It has a lot of other nice little features in it. It has like a little sensor. So if you want to, you can have it. I just have it play pretty much all the time, but you can have it so where it won't play until it senses motion or something, and then it'll start playing. Yeah. You can set a time, so you can say, at about the time we normally go to bed, turn it off, and then when we get up, turn it on, that kind of thing. And then what I really liked was that this particular one, the 8-inch model, is a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is a bit closer to photos. Most of the ones are more 16:9 sort of TV aspect ratio, which doesn't have the right look I wanted for it. I wanted it to look more like photos in a photo frame. So it's actually a little bit hard to find a 4:3 picture frame. So, but that's why I got that. So it was I think it was $150 roughly, 145, something like that, through Amazon. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah, software is pretty good. There's a few things I wish it had. You could make I only have one playlist, but you could make different playlists, which I guess, I thought it'd be kind of neat to make like a holidays playlist and have like all holidays from previous times. And so when you hit that time of year, you kind of have that playlist run, and or spring, so you can kind of have it change with the seasons, whatever.
Yeah. Nice.
That's what I got.
That's cool.
I like it a lot. That's my pick. I was excited about it, so I don't know if we were doing picks, but I thought I'd share.
Yeah, absolutely. We just haven't. But yeah, no, that's yeah. I think it's. I have a couple small ones. They're older, and yeah, the screens aren't that great. And then I have my monster one. But I tell you what, that that huge one that we have, we'll just sit there and like. Even the kid, everybody just it's like, oh, remember that? I mean, you just want to see the pictures and remember the times, and it's you're right. Having everything digital is awesome because it's all in one place, and it's all organized and everything else, but nobody ever sees it, right? So it is,
and even Melissa said to me, she's like, well, how I could never see the pictures. Where are the pictures? I'm like, they're on your phone and they're on your iPad because it's a shared Apple album. I'm like, you have them there.
Yeah.
But it's like nobody, like, that's not how you need them out.
You have to push them. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's one more feature about this that I meant to say that I forgot. I also liked with this that it's the way it's built. It's there as a stand and then the tablet itself. So you can either leave it in landscape or you can turn it portrait. And I haven't done it, but what I should probably do is like only load it with pictures in that format so that it's not like doing the letterboxing stuff. Right now I have a kind of a mixture just because it does a nice job actually of like, because a lot of in the old ones, like if you had it landscape laid out, but you put a portrait picture in, it would just do black bars on the side.
Yeah.
But this one will do like how on like news channels when they show vertical video and then to the sides it's just sort of the blurry version of that thing. So it does something similar to that. Which
that's nice. I like that.
But because I was thinking, and it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's not super expensive. But I was thinking I could get a couple different ones and have one landscape and one portrait and just load them up with different photos.
Absolutely.
So anyway, there you go.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, is that a show? Did we do it all?
That's a show. Yep.
All right. It feels like we had a long break, so glad to be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
Cool. Talk to you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Starport 75. Follow Chris on Twitter and Instagram at CBGray, and Glenn on Twitter and Instagram at DizWiz. Follow the show on Twitter and Facebook at Starport75 and Instagram at TheStarport75. For all things related to the show, including show notes and links to connect with us, visit us at starport75.com.